we talk about building lifelong relationships. This is so important to me. I mean, and we know this, and I kind of stress it, but it's so much more than football. I remember when I was a GA about 10 years ago at Baylor, and I wanted to coach football, and I would be up here at midnight just learning, trying to, how much football. You get in coaching, and we all know it's about what, 5%, 10% of it is actually coaching, 10% of it is actually X's and O's. A lot of it is just dealing with people. How can we mature and develop kids? These are my boys here at my house. We had a little barbecue. I cooked. Nobody died. It was good. We had a good time. But, you know, I always talk to our kids about, you know, being demanding. And don't apologize to kids for asking them to do things the right way. I think there's so many areas in so many kids' life where we want to kind of cut corners and make things. Don't apologize if you're asking somebody to do things the right way over and over again. I think that's the challenge for us as coaches. It's hard because sometimes it's always easy to say, well, you know, well, we can make an excuse for a kid all the time. Well, he came from this situation. I mean, let's be demanding and let's at least draw a line in the sand in terms of I'm gonna demand you do things a certain way, the right way all the time, over and over again, and I'm gonna hold you to that at least. I'm gonna hold you to that piece. I think that's the difficult part for coaches. We're responsible for every aspect of our players' lives. There's nothing, not one thing in my players' lives, in our players' lives, that is unimportant to me. Not one thing. Who do they live with? Where do they go on Friday night? Who's the girlfriend? What's the home life like? What's in our lives, what is unimportant to our Father? I mean, there's nothing in our life that God doesn't care about, that he's not concerned with, that he's not aware of. So why should that be any different for our kids' life? I think about my mom and my dad. I mean, my mom, she's always, it's like most moms. I came home about once a week during the summer. I see my mom like a couple times a year. I mean, she goes right back into mom mode. You know, it's the love, it's the care, it's the concern. And believe it or not, these kids, it matters. You know, telling your kid, hey, I love you. Supporting the kid that way is so important. And then I always talk about finding ways to have fun. You know, the game is hard enough. You know, we can all be serious. We can all be stern on them like we talked about at the top. But when we can, let's have a good time and make the game enjoyable. Let's not steal the joy out of the game for our players.